The garage is perfect for someone like you. My brother Marcus smirked, gesturing to the cluttered space between his pristine BMW and the rusty lawnmower. After all, you're used to simpler accommodations. I'm Alexandra Morton, 35, and I was standing in my parents' garage, watching my successful brother act like he owned the place. The family reunion was in full swing, and while everyone else got comfortable rooms in the sprawling house, I got the garage, complete with oil stains and the distinct smell of old rubber tires. You can put your sleeping bag right there. My sister Olivia chimed in, pointing to a narrow space between boxes of Christmas decorations. Just don't touch anything expensive. She adjusted her designer watch, a not-so-subtle reminder of her wealth. I placed my worn backpack on the concrete floor, fighting back the urge to tell them both exactly what I thought. But Grandma Rose's words echoed in my mind. Patience, dear. Sometimes the best revenge is letting people show exactly who they are. Grandma Rose had passed away 6 months ago. What my family didn't know was that in her final years, while they were all too busy to visit, I was the one who sat with her every weekend. I was the one who listened to her stories, managed her medications, and helped her organize her considerable estate. Dinners at 7. My mother called from the doorway, not even bothering to step into the garage. Try to clean up before then. We have standards to maintain. The door clicked shut, leaving me alone with the spiders and old paint cans. I pulled out my phone, checking the email from Grandma's lawyers one more time. The family meeting was scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. That's when everything would change. My siblings had always seen me as the family failure. While they chased money and status, I chose to work in environmental conservation. My salary was modest, my clothes were practical, and my car was over 10 years old. To them, this meant I was beneath them. At least clear your bike out of the way, Marcus called through the garage window. I need to park the Porsche in here later. Can't leave it out in this weather. I glanced at my reliable old bicycle, the one I'd used to visit Grandma every weekend while they were all too busy with their important lives. If they only knew that those visits had led to me becoming the executor of her entire estate. The family reunion dinner was exactly as I expected. I was seated at the kids' table, despite being 35, while my siblings and their spouses enjoyed the adult table. Their children, spoiled and loud, kept throwing food at each other while their parents ignored them. "How's that tree-hugging job going?" Olivia asked during dessert, her voice dripping with condescension. "Still saving the world one plant at a time." "Something like that," I replied, keeping my face neutral. Let them think what they want. "You know," Marcus added, swirling his expensive wine, "I could get you a real job at my firm. Entry level, of course. Can't have you embarrassing me too much." Our parents beamed at Marcus's generosity. They'd always favored him and Olivia, the successful ones, the ones who followed the money. They had no idea that Grandma Rose had seen through all of it. Later that night, as I lay on my sleeping bag listening to the hum of the garage refrigerator, I pulled out the letter Grandma had given me before she passed. "My dearest Alexandra," it read, "you were the only one who saw me as a person, not a bank account. Tomorrow they'll all learn the truth about what really matters in this family." I tucked the letter away and smiled in the darkness. Tomorrow couldn't come soon enough. The garage might be cold and uncomfortable, but I knew it would be the last time they'd ever treat me like this. As I drifted off to sleep, I could hear them laughing and talking in the warm house, probably congratulating themselves on their successes and planning how to spend their expected inheritance. Little did they know, Grandma Rose had other plans, and I was the one she trusted to carry them out. The next morning would change everything, but for now, I let them enjoy their final night of feeling superior. After all, as Grandma always said, the best lessons are the ones people don't see coming until it's too late. The morning sun filtered through the dusty garage windows as I changed into my most professional outfit, a simple black blazer and pants. Nothing designer like Olivia's clothes, but clean and dignified. Just as I finished getting ready, Marcus poked his head in. "Family meeting at 2. Try not to embarrass us with your ensemble." He wrinkled his nose at my attire. "The lawyers are coming, and we need to maintain appearances." If only he knew I'd been meeting with those same lawyers for months. The house was buzzing with anticipation. My mother was stress cleaning, rearranging the already perfect living room. Olivia was on her phone, loudly discussing her plans for her share of the inheritance. Marcus was mansplaining investment strategies to anyone who would listen. I'm thinking of buying that new development property, he announced over lunch. Once Grandma's money comes through, of course. It's what she would have wanted, keeping it in the family business. I picked up my sandwich, served to me in the kitchen while they ate in the dining room. Are you sure about that? I asked quietly. What would you know about it? Olivia snapped. The most expensive thing you've ever managed is probably that bicycle. At precisely 2 o'clock, the doorbell rang. Mr. Harrison, Grandma's longtime lawyer, entered with his team. I noticed how his eyes found me immediately, giving me a subtle nod. Before we begin, my father announced, I think Alexandra should wait outside. This is about serious family matters after all. Mr. Harrison cleared his throat. Actually, Alexandra's presence is essential. She's the executor of the estate. The room went silent. You could have heard a pin drop. She's WHAT. Marcus exploded, jumping to his feet. This has to be a mistake. There's no mistake, Mr. Harrison said firmly. Mrs. Rose Morton appointed Alexandra as executor 6 months ago. Everything was properly documented and witnessed. My mother's face had gone pale. But we're her successful children. We know how to handle money. That's exactly why she chose Alexandra, Mr. Harrison continued. Rose was very specific about her reasons. He pulled out a video recording, one we'd made in her final months. The large TV screen flickered to life, and there was Grandma Rose, still elegant even in her illness. My dear family, her voice rang clear and strong. If you're watching this, I'm no longer with you. You're probably all gathered together, already planning how to spend what you believe you deserve. Marcus and Olivia shifted uncomfortably. But you see, I've watched all of you over the years. While you pursue wealth and status, only one person showed true character. While you were too busy for Sunday visits, Alexandra rode her bicycle every weekend, rain or shine. While you sent expensive gifts but no time, she gave me her presence, her love, and her understanding. Tears were forming in my mother's eyes now, but whether from shame or anger, I couldn't tell. So yes, I've chosen Alexandra as executor because she's the only one who never saw me as a bank account. She's the only one who'll honor my true wishes. The video ended, and Mr. Harrison began distributing documents. The estate, valued at approximately $5 million, will be handled according to Mrs. Morton's specific instructions. Alexandra has full discretionary power over the distribution. This is ridiculous, Olivia shrieked. She lives in a tiny apartment and rides a bike. She can't possibly manage this kind of money. I finally stood up, my voice calm and clear. Actually, my tiny apartment is by choice. The money I've saved by living simply has gone to environmental conservation projects. Projects that Grandma Rose secretly funded with me for the last 3 years of her life. Marcus looked like he might faint. You've been working with her all this time? Yes, I replied. And now it's time for all of you to learn what really matters. But first, I glanced around the room, a small smile playing on my lips. I think I'll move my things out of the garage and into a proper guest room. After all, I have some important estate business to take care of. The look on their faces as I walked upstairs with my backpack was priceless. Sometimes karma works in mysterious ways, or in my case, through a grandmother who saw through all the pretense to what really mattered. Tomorrow, they'd learn about the specific conditions Grandma had set for their inheritance. But for now, I enjoyed the sound of my heels clicking on the hardwood floors, heading toward the best guest room in the house. The one with the view of the garden where Grandma Rose and I used to sit and talk about what really makes a life worth living. The next morning, I woke up in the plush guest room bed, savoring the irony. Through the window, I could see Marcus pacing in the garden, furiously talking on his phone. Olivia's car had been running since dawn. She'd been sitting in it for hours, probably trying to call every lawyer in town. At precisely 10 a.m., Mr. Harrison returned for the final meeting. This time, I sat at the head of the table. The distribution of the estate, I began, opening Grandma's carefully prepared documents, comes with conditions. Conditions? My father interrupted. What conditions? I smiled, remembering Grandma's wisdom. Each potential inheritance is tied to specific requirements that Grandma Rose believed would help you understand what really matters in life. Marcus leaned forward, his designer tie slightly askew. Just tell us how much we get. Marcus, I read from the document your portion is $1 million. His face lit up. But I continued. However, to receive it, you must spend 1 year working at the community center where Grandma volunteered. Full-time, regular hours at minimum wage. This is absurd, he shouted. I'm a CEO, exactly, I replied calmly. Grandma believed you needed to learn the value of serving others instead of just yourself. Turning to Olivia, I continued, your share is also $1 million. She straightened up, adjusting her pearl necklace. The condition: you must live on a budget of $2,500 per month for 1 year. No access to your current accounts. No designer clothes. No luxury cars. That's barely survival, she gasped. That's more than minimum wage workers make, Olivia. Grandma wanted you to understand how most people live. My parents sat rigid as I turned to them. Your portion is $1.5 million jointly. They reached for each other's hands. The condition: you must spend 2 years managing Grandma's charitable foundation, personally reviewing every application for assistance. You'll need to meet with people who need help, hear their stories, and make decisions based on compassion rather than status. The room was silent except for Marcus's heavy breathing. And if we refuse? He finally asked. Then your portions go directly to the charitable causes Grandma supported. The choice is yours. What about your share? Olivia demanded. What hoops did precious Alexandra have to jump through? My portion, I said softly, was the responsibility of executing Grandma's wishes, plus $500,000, which have already dedicated to expanding the environmental conservation project we worked on together. Mr. Harrison nodded approvingly as I continued, you have 1 week to decide. After that, the funds will be automatically redirected to charity. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Marcus accused, his face red, finally getting back at us for all the times we looked down on you. I stood up, smoothing my simple blazer. No, Marcus, I'm fulfilling Grandma's final wishes. She wanted her money to create positive change, either through her family learning valuable lessons or through charitable works. The choice is yours. Over the next few days, the house was filled with tense discussions and slammed doors. My siblings alternated between trying to charm me into changing the conditions and threatening legal action, which Mr. Harrison assured them would be futile. To everyone's surprise, Olivia was the first to accept. I've never lived on a budget, she admitted quietly to me one evening. Maybe it's time I learned. Marcus held out until the last day, finally agreeing through gritted teeth. Our parents, after long discussions, accepted their role at the foundation. As I packed my bag to leave, this time taking it to my car rather than the garage, my mother stopped me. We were wrong about you, she said, her voice thick with emotion. All these years we thought success meant money and status. But Grandma, she saw something different in you. She saw humanity, Mom. That's all. She just wanted all of you to see it too. 1 year later, I stood in Grandma Rose's garden, now transformed into a community space. Marcus was teaching a group of kids about planting vegetables, something he'd learned at the community center. Olivia had started a consulting business helping people manage their finances, drawing from her own experience living on a budget. Our parents have found new purpose in running the foundation, finally understanding the joy of helping others. You did good, kid, Mr. Harrison said, joining me by the garden gate. Rose would be proud. I smiled, watching my transformed family. She knew what she was doing all along. Sometimes people just need a little push to find their better selves. The garage where I'd once been banished to sleep had been converted into a community workshop space. The expensive cars were gone, replaced by tools and supplies for teaching practical skills to local youth. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's giving people the chance to become better versions of themselves. Grandma Rose understood that all along. And now finally, so did we all.